So I was in Europe for 3 months from January all the way until March. Specifically, I was in Italy and I had such a great time. But by the end of March, it was time for me to pack up and go to my new location and prepare for my season and everything that came along with that. So I left Europe and I'm now in Africa. So in this video, you're basically just going to see some amazing views. So this is some footage from my first week in Africa. I had my camera out the whole entire time. It was kind of risky to kind of do that though because people on the motorcycles can just snatch it out of your hand, but luckily I have a wrist wrap on my camera, so I was able to keep it close to me. But yeah, the first thing I noticed whenever I got into the car was that seatbelts and safety precautions are just non-existent. Heck, there's not even stop signs or street lights or anything like that. None at all. Actually, no, let me not lie. Okay, so there are a few street signs and traffic lights, but if they're there, they're probably not working, or if they're working, they're not respected at all. Driving here to me kind of resembles a skating rink. The chaos of being at a skating rink and people going in and out of each other, weaving in and out of each other, and just kind of navigating through the flow of everything. That is exactly how people drive in Africa, through the flow. As you can see, there's hardly anybody is within the lines. Like even me in the car right now, we're not within the lines. Not at all. But yeah, that was the first thing I noticed. But other than that, oh my goodness, the weather here is outstanding. So in Cameroon, there are two seasons. You have rainy season and then you have the dry season. I came in April. So this is basically the start of rainy season. As you can see, the floor is still wet because it rains on and off. It literally rains every single day. Maybe at night sometimes, maybe in the morning, but every single day regardless, it's going to rain. So right now we are in downtown Yaounde, passing by the botanical garden, which I went to. I will put some pictures in here so you can see them. I went to the botanical garden just for a little bit. It was so nice. There was some cute statues. I had a picnic with some family out here, and we had a great time enjoying the weather, enjoying each other's company and everything, and just being peaceful and quiet together. It was my type of time. I like to be chill and just kind of hang out. I don't really like to do much, but I do like to be in good company, and we were in great company. This green, red, and yellow structure in the middle of this intersection right here is basically what they're building to beautify the city, especially for March Past, which is the Unity Day march that's going on May 20th. So right now we're passing by the Hilton Hotel, which is probably one of the biggest and oldest hotels in Yaounde, which looks really, really nice at night, especially. And this is more of downtown, basically, right here in this little stadium area on the left. That's where, if there's parades or anything, people go and sit down under there for shade, and they can watch under there too. It's like a little pavilion. And I'm not sure what those buildings are that are like copper and brown, but oh my goodness, I love, love, love the architecture down over there. So the most common forms of transportation here are motorbikes or cycles or benskin. That's what people usually call them, bensikin, in Pidgin, or cars. Some people have cars, some people don't. It's pretty much a privilege and a luxury to have a car because, I mean, what car do you know that was built in Africa? Every car here is basically imported. Toyota is America, and then you have some European cars, actually, a lot of European cars. Mainly every single car here is stick shift, unless you got your car imported from the US or something. But yeah, taxis and motorcycles, that's usually the means of transportation out here. I'm in a personal car because the person driving me has the luxury and could afford a car. but that it's literally a luxury. Not everybody has a car. And honestly, you don't need a car. So that's the good thing. There are so many taxis, especially in the city. So you just pay your price to get to where you're going. As far as public transportation, like buses and trains, like there were in Europe, there's really not buses out here, but you will see every now and again, like big cars full of people or big vans full of people. And that's basically like a bus, a public transit bus. Usually, when mass groups of people are going to the same place, like 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away, they'll all hop in that car. I actually got in one of those last year and counted how many people were inside of the vehicle, and it was almost 30 people. No AC, broken seat. I think I was like sitting on my seatbelt buckle. It hurt so bad, but I had to persevere for that 30 minutes. It's just life in Africa. That's just how it is. So we're still in the city. So these roads in the city are paved, and it's quite interesting, honestly, because most of the roads, like on the inner city, they're paved, but oh my goodness, the potholes here could have apartments in them. I'm serious. The potholes here are a huge issue, honestly, for driving because it slows down traffic. It's dangerous. If you're going too fast, bad accidents could happen and stuff like that, especially with, motorcycles and cars and taxis stopping every now and again and everybody just interweaving through each other. Not to mention pedestrians, jaywalking. That's not even a thing. Jaywalking is not a thing. You get to where you're going, okay? Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. Good job. Good job. That is exactly right. To get to the other side. I just wanted to make this video to kind of show what the inner city part looks like or can look like. I've not been to every country in Africa. I've literally only been to one, which is the one I'm in right now, Cameroon. And this is what it looks like. Mind you, I'm in the capital right now, but it looks very normal, honestly. The trees and the color and like the dirt, kind of tints everything that like beige red color, but everything is quite normal. You have your skyscrapers, you have your big grand hotels, cathedrals, libraries. It's very, very normal. And I know there's like a huge stigma that is just like, Africa is all huts and everything like that. And it's not true. There are some parts, of course, that are, mud homes and stuff like that, but I guarantee you the inside is very much livable. We're driving around today on a Sunday, so there's not very, very much traffic, just a little bit of cars, but usually this street especially is jam packed with people. Jam packed with people in cars. Look at us on the wrong side of the road. Yaounde is a very, very spacious area with a lot of buildings that you can spot out right away. If you tell a person to meet you by this pink building, they will know exactly what you're talking about. Every area, every location is so conspicuous. If you notice, there's not any street signs or anything like that. But if you need directions somewhere, you say, "Hello, mon petit frère. Ah, you say you're there for which side? You don't pass the pink building, yeah? Okay, okay. Just after that pink building, yeah, you turn right, make a right turn, and then you see a hill. Keep climbing down that hill. Then you will see a big gas station, yeah, Total. After Total, you will just turn, and I'll see you right there at the Carrefour." That's how people give directions out here, and it makes sense. Landmarks are better than written words, in my opinion. At least that's how I tell directions, even in America. I don't really pay too much attention, especially because the words are kind of small in the first place. So I don't want to have to squint when I'm driving. So I'd rather tell somebody to meet me behind the Chevron, honestly. So yeah, that's how they do it out here too. Watch us cross the street. Watch. You just go when you can. That's it. You might honk your horn once, but you go when you can. Like we're literally in the middle of incoming traffic. Crazy, crazy. But ironically, ironically, God forbid, knock on wood, I have not seen a single car accident. I have not seen one. And I feel like that's because like in the US, I don't know, I feel like it's not really set up to go with the flow and the motion of things. I feel like things that's and I feel like that's just part of the mindset and the difference between like Africa and USA or Europe. It's like things are more structured, and in a way, it's really good to have structure, but in a way, it kind of limits you from something else, like the flow of things and understanding when something is in motion, it will be in motion until contacted by another force. You know, Newton's first law of motion. So I feel like because of the fact that USA has, you know, abrupt stop signs and abrupt stop lights and stuff like that, it makes you have to react, and not everybody has great reaction time. I feel like not having the traffic signs and stuff like that, it makes a person more vigilant. You have to be vigilant. And it's almost like everybody in the car, everybody in the vehicle is vigilant as well. You don't have people like with their eyes just glued to their phone or driving with headphones in. That one's crazy. That one is so crazy. I see that all the time in America, people driving with headphones on. Does that make sense? It makes no sense. But yeah, you just have to be vigilant. Like, look at this intersection. No stoplight, nothing. Usually there'll be like a light post in the middle or like a tire. So people, you know, understand to form kind of like a roundabout motion and go in a circle before, you know, going anywhere else. So that saves money, and it's pretty efficient. It's not the safest, but it does save money. So I understand it from an economical standpoint. Okay, so one thing that I love to do, and you'll see that in a lot of my videos, I love to go grocery shopping. Food is how I document my life, so I love everything that has to do with food. And I'm not like a glutton or anything, but I just enjoy the act of cooking. I have so many great memories from me cooking and creating in the kitchen. I feel like it's my form of creation. It's my outlet. So I love going to grocery stores and sparking up ideas for what I can create later. And in every country, every grocery store is different. So that's so much fun. It's like an adventure park. It's like a theme park for me. So this specific store is called Santa Lucia. And they're pretty common around here in Cameroon. You have Santa Lucia in Yaounde. You have another store called Dove, and two other ones that are pretty popular. One is called Casino and one is called Mahima. And I'll actually be doing a video on Mahima supermarket. That one was huge. That one was huge. But this is just like a neighborhood grocery store with some snacks and stuff like that. So I'm in the candy aisle. I don't know how I ended up in here first, but I'm in the candy aisle. It's pretty normal. You know, they have normal things, I would say. There are different brands than in the US and Europe and other countries and stuff, but the item inside of the packaging is basically the same. Like here is like condensed milk and powdered milk. Then you have yogurts and juices in the refrigerator aisle. These apples that are way too expensive. Oh my goodness, 400 francs for an apple, for one apple. I want to say that might be $1 for one apple. And that's because they're imported from Europe or China. So then we have our Cameroonian chocolate. Gotta have that. There are a bunch of like workers that are just like in the store right now. They're not really doing much, but they're just here, and I feel like that's just kind of how things are here. Then on this side, there are more imported goods, some canned goods, a bunch of Maggi. Maggi is the one spice that I use in like every single recipe here, and I have not had a single miss with it. And then we have our traditional snacks on this side, like ching ching, roasted peanuts, coconut sweet, all bottled up. It's funny because people hardly buy the ones from the store, especially because they sell them literally right outside of the store for probably one fourth of the price that they're being sold inside of the store. I feel like that would kind of be good to sell elsewhere, not in Africa. Like, it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to sell those kind of things inside of the store when you have it outside. This area caught my attention. So this is like a herbal section. They have teas, honey, cinnamon, some spices, but like really, really good herbs for your health as well. So it was nice to see that in the store. They have so much chocolate. Oh, Cameroon is so rich with chocolate and coffee. The next time you eat dark chocolate, remember that you're eating the seeds of a fruit. Cacao fruit, chocolate, cocoa, I think that's how they pronounce it, chocolate fruit. The outer shell is tough to crack, kind of like a coconut, but not as strong as a coconut. And the outer backing of every individual seed is gooey and strangely tastes like lemonade. I washed every seed and then put it in the oven for about 30 minutes on low heat. Outer part of the shells become super easy to peel. It's a tedious process, but it's pretty easy. I put all the seeds in a dry blender. I think a regular blender would work, but I wanted it to be more of a fine powder consistency, so I put it in a dry blender for that reason. And for this part, I wish I had. Yeah, so that was my TikTok footage. So I actually got a cacao fruit, which has the seeds that make chocolate, and made a fantastic smoothie. And you can see how I did that on my TikTok. It's just my name, the same thing like my YouTube channel name. It's just Nora Money. But anyways, back to this video. The chocolate fruit and the coffee bean actually grow out here like crazy. So I can see why they have so much chocolate. So this is the bakery aisle or bakery section, and they have some traditional snacks like puff puff, gâteau at the top. Then they have like burgers and pizza, which is kind of random. I feel like nobody eats those. They look like they're just on display. They have cookies, some like cinnamon twists, and everything in the bakery is pretty affordable. Like a kid can come in here and just give a coin and, get something, get a little snack. But this part right here, this is part of my favorite area of the store, especially because they have beans and that's vegan. So I've actually bought beans from there and it was pretty good. But yeah, that's their fast food. So they have like beans and rice and just some traditional foods that are cooked all day and served all day. What can I compare this to? I can compare this to like Walmart. This is like a neighborhood Walmart, but with a deli section. Oh, so here are some very popular Cameroonian drinks. You have Top, you have Gino, you have Bubble Up, and then Reactor. Oh, and of course Pamplemousse, and then a bunch of other ones. But yeah, a lot of people buy those in bulk and then go sell them. Or they keep it in their houses. But what I see people doing the most is buying them in bulk and going to sell them. So yeah, that was the grocery store. Pretty normal. I got a few things, um, a little bit of food items to take back home. So what we're seeing right now with all these like open doors and metal roofs, most of them are businesses. So you have little phone repair shops, a pharmacy, people's like hair salons, barber salons, and places where you can buy calling cards, little restaurants, bars, off licenses, and that's what's going on there. They kind of blend in with the houses, but usually houses are like behind that. So you'll see a storefront, and then if you walk through a little alleyway, then you'll see like people's homes and stuff. And I have a really good view of that I will show you in just a minute. So right now I'm headed to an apartment complex. I love this view right here. So we can see the mountains, the hills and the valleys of the city. This is probably my best type of view here in Yaounde. I love 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 being able to see everything. I love being kind of above and having that bird's eye view, which is why I especially love this apartment. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This is the view of Yaounde. It is breathtaking. One thing that I noticed that kind of seems like, okay, duh, of course, you're in Africa. Of course, it's like that. Okay, so one thing that I notice is that the sky and the sun feel so much closer than it does in Europe and than it does in America. I literally feel like I am closer in distance to the sun, which we are, just because the planet is just set up like that. I actually had a friend who I spoke to on the phone recently who asked me about what I'm doing for my skincare and if I'm wearing UV protection out here and stuff like that, which is a story for another time. But anyways, back to this scene. I love that I can see people living, not in like a weird way or anything like that, but it's good to see how people live differently from other places in the world. Like the differences between how I was raised and the difference between how these kids are raised growing up. I had a clothing line and clothing wire growing up outside, but we also had the luxury of having a washer and dryer. The clothing line was just there because, our mom didn't want us to run that electricity bill too high, especially when we had another way of drying the clothes for free. But that's an experience that I have and that a lot of people don't have or they won't ever have. And it's something so simple, simple things like drying clothes outside. As I was saying earlier in the video, you will have the bars and stuff, the storefronts in the front, and then on the inside, you can see that there's people's houses in the inner alleyways. So, all these metal roofs right here, these are individual homes, different individual homes. And it's almost like they're connected, but I don't know if they are or if they're not, but I think that's pretty cool if they are. But when I walk around, I do see like space and gaps between them, but it does almost look like their roofs are connected. So yeah, you'll have homes like this, and then in between that, you'll have skyrise apartments, which is kind of similar to Third Ward Houston or Austin, Texas. These are places I've been, and that's how I can draw the picture and connect the dots with that. It's very, very similar. Like, I feel like a lot of places in the world kind of resemble each other in some type of way, which is so beautiful. We are all one. If we choose to see the similarities instead of the differences, we're more similar than we are different. That concludes my video. We got to see the inner city of Yaounde, downtown Yaounde, different parts of Yaounde, which is huge. Like, I don't think you realize what you just saw. That was a lot. We drove around for at least an hour just chilling, just chilling. My agent wanted to show me around, so that was really nice of him. And even better because I got footage to share with you. So yeah, we saw the inner city of Yaoundé, went to a market, saw the inside of a grocery store, the view from a skyrise apartment, and my day is finally over. I just got here, so I'm probably gonna chill and get myself ready for the week. But yeah, in the next video, I'll be showing another grocery store, an apartment tour of this apartment that I'm actually in right now. And I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget to tell you because there's a lot of cool things coming up. So the apartment tour, and then a huge grocery store that I went to in Yaounde, and I got a lot of cool stuff at. So be on the lookout for some more good vibes and good views. Catch you in the next video. Bye.